as a community can do better.
What do you want to tell your children about this moment?
We need reforms.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network, we stand together.
Everybody's here together, black, white, brown, everybody.
A platform for progress in our community.
We need to do a better job.
I want to show that we can be peaceful.
This is just as much our fight as it is yours.
Discussing the problems of racial inequality and solutions to combat discrimination in a conversation for change.
We'll be able to build on this.
I never in a million years thought I would embrace a cop like that.
From Wish TV, we stand together.
Our series, We Stand Together, continues tonight. The goal? To provide a voice to help spark change in central Indiana, to also fight racial injustice. We continue our coverage tonight.
And Nina, the campus of Indiana University is the current home of Angel Escobedo. He's the third-year wrestling coach, and since joining the program, he has brought excitement to the team. But more importantly, he has brought support and a true spirit. It was that spirit that moved him to share his voice after the death of George Floyd.
Seeing a man held against his will. Seeing a man's face pushed onto the pavement. Hearing him cry out for his mother. Hearing him say, "I can't breathe." Watching this take place for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Seeing a man that looked like him. Angel Escobedo could be silent no longer. I talked to him yesterday about why he felt the need to speak out.
I saw it on Twitter, and my emotions were a shock. I was saddened. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. You almost start to think to yourself, is this even real? Like, how is this airing on Twitter? How is this airing for the national public to see a man die in front of our eyes? So I was just really saddened. I mean, every life is precious, and I knew this guy's life was over. So it was a sad moment.
If you can, take us through why you decided to speak out about it, because you became pretty vocal on Twitter, which isn't typically the case with a lot of coaches. And this is much different now.
It hits home. I'm half black, half Mexican. The color of my skin could very well easily get me killed one day. And that's the scary part. I have kids. I don't want them to experience that. So that's why I knew I had to speak out. I'm all about protecting my family, helping others too. And I just knew my voice had to be heard. I couldn't stay silent anymore. It was just too close to home. Now I would feel bad, down the line if, say my son got pulled over for something so innocent as a taillight or whatever, and his life was taken, and me knowing back then that I could have spoken up. So right away, I just knew, I had to use my voice, had to use my platform.
So what was the type of reaction that you received?
It was positive. Not a lot of negativity, which, I was kind of scared of. I mean, in this time, there's a lot of divide in our country. And I just think this issue, the race issue, there is no sides. There is no political backing behind it. This is just, this is racism. We have to defeat it. It shouldn't be in our country. We shouldn't tolerate it. And I think everybody could come together in defeating this and moving forward, moving this country to a better place.
Escobedo is half black and half Mexican. He was raised in the neighborhood of Gary, Indiana. He grew up admiring Martin Luther King Jr. and Muhammad Ali. He had an appreciation for peace.
Have you ever had a situation growing up where you were maybe pulled over or had some type of interaction with an officer where you were a little scared?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's human nature now that you see these videos and you think to yourself, is that going to happen to me? Even knowing that, I didn't do anything, right? I didn't do anything illegal, but it's still that fear factor of, what if I do something wrong? Will he take it as a threat? And I think that's just, real life for a black man in America. It's like you're nervous. You're nervous when you get pulled over, even if you didn't do anything wrong, because you see all the interactions, the bad interactions, they're cemented in our brain. They're cemented in our soul. And so that always comes out to light, when you are pulled over. So that's just a reality. And I've been there. It's not easy. It's not comforting. You want to overcome that. So hopefully one day, we can overcome that where we could get pulled over and be okay.
Have you discussed this or had any conversations with your team?
I have. I just told them from the heart where I'm coming from, why this is so passionate for me. Just bringing them together, helping them be the change. I tell them that, it starts with you. You got to be the example. You have to just be well represented of this program. And, one thing we stand for is unity. We stand for giving back and loving each other. So for our team, that's our statement. That's our mission. And we have to go out there and be men of character.
What do you think of the global movement that has preceded this incident?
Man, it's strong. It's passionate. There's a lot of people that want to see change, and you can see that. It's not only a national thing; it's a global thing. I think it just shows to what the hurt and anger and just how much outcry the Black community is wanting and wanting people to listen. Wanting to listen. This has been happening for a long time, and we need some type of change. We want change for our kids. We want change for the future. We want to see something positive come from this, and you can just see it. Just the way that the world is reacting around this. There's a lot of emotion.
As you mentioned, this has been happening for a long time. Why do you think that this one's different?
I just think the way that we were able to watch it for so long and just how impactful that was. It wasn't like a short clip. This was a long clip, and we got to see all sides of the angles. And, you start to imagine yourself in that position thinking, wow, he did not deserve to die, and you just keep replaying it over and over in your head. And I think that's really cemented in everybody. Like we kind of just made ourselves become him, in a moment. We became him, and we're like, well, we would never want our life to be taken that way. So I think that's why it's so strong.
So obviously there's a lot that needs to be done, but if you had to kind of pick a few things, what do you think is the most important thing that needs to happen in order for us to get change?
I think the biggest part that I've been saying is that we have to listen. We have to listen and understand where is all this coming from, what people of color have experienced, and how can we change that, and just getting into conversations, uncomfortable ones, and trying to find solutions, trying to see how can we make this better. But first things first is you listen. Okay, what have they experienced? What are your experiences? I think experiences can tell a lot about what's been happening in this country, and and once we have all those, then we can start moving forward. But I think from the protests and the outcry, it's the Black community doesn't feel like it's being heard. And, hopefully now, with all how big this protest has become, the voice is out there for everybody to hear.
Did you play any other sports growing up?
I played baseball. I played basketball. I tried every single sport. Soccer. Wrestling was just, I'm not that tall. So wrestling was kind of, my shoe-in to get a scholarship and kind of better my life.
From an athletic standpoint, I think what helps a lot of people is it doesn't matter when you're on the field or the court, what skin color you are, where you come from, as long as you can play, you can play. And I think that's helped a lot of athletes over the years come together. Do you think that maybe that's a solution to get kids from different backgrounds playing sports, going to school together? What say you?
Yeah, I think sports is a huge platform that can break barriers. It can transcend barriers. When you start bringing in all these different cultures, sport unites them. You start to learn your teammates on a personal level. And then that's when you start seeing them for who you are and then you're accepting of them. And I think that's a big piece that we need to understand, is that we need to accept people for who they are. Like I've said in my articles is that, I want you to see my color. I don't want you to say I don't see color. No, see my color, accept my color, because that's part of who I am. my background is who I am. This is, what you see today, the man that I am.
Do you think we'll see the change that you desire in our lifetime?
We will come together. We will be better from this. It's not all negativity out there. There's a lot of positives. I did a peaceful protest in Bloomington, and the amount of people that were there, just the backing and how peaceful everyone was, and how we're gonna, come together, all different kind of backgrounds, and that was beautiful to see. And I think that's a representation of what America is. We're from all different kind of backgrounds. This is a great country. We still have ways to go, but at the same time, we can come together and we can defeat racism.
Well said, and we thank Angel for taking some time with us. Our We Stand Together series will continue on air next week on News 8 at 10 o'clock. And remember, you can see all of our profiles online right now at wishtv.com.
From Wish TV, we stand together. Watch, read, listen, and be a part of the conversation online at wishtv.com and when you follow Wish TV on Facebook. Find more episodes of We Stand Together and other podcasts from Wish TV online anytime at allindianapodcastnetwork.com. allindianapodcastnetwork.com.